Chrono Trigger, the beloved 1995 RPG developed by Squaresoft, has left an indelible mark on gaming history. It's difficult not to feel a sense of nostalgia when thinking back on the epic time-traveling adventures of Chrono, Marl, Frog, and their friends. And it's not just gamers who feel this way. It seems like every RPG since Chrono Trigger's release has been chasing that same sense of nostalgia and wonder, and every RPG gamer or developer has been, so to speak, chasing that dragon. The term chasing the dragon is typically associated with the pursuit of a fleeting high or pleasure that can never be fully satisfied. It suggests that the more one tries to attain the high, the more elusive it becomes, like chasing a mythical creature that could never be caught. And that's what it feels like with Chrono Trigger. So, what made Chrono Trigger so incredibly special, so insurmountable that we're still discussing it nearly 30 years later? It's in part due to the incredible talent associated with it, which included some of the most prodigious developers in the industry, including Hironobu Sakaguchi, the creator of the Final Fantasy franchise, and Akira Toriyama, the artist behind Dragon Quest and Dragon Ball Z's instantly recognizable designs. I bet that even if you didn't know what Chrono Trigger was before clicking on this video, you recognized the hairstyle in the thumbnail, didn't you? The game's story was masterfully crafted, with a deep and complex narrative that spanned multiple eras and featured a memorable cast of characters, each with their own distinct motivations. The game's graphics and sprite work were absolutely stunning, even by today's standards, and its soundtrack is still considered one of the greatest in gaming history. And, as you likely know, it's championed in practically every circle that reveres video gaming music, spawning covers upon covers and tributes as far as the ears can hear and the mouse can click. But perhaps the most important aspect of Chrono Trigger was the innovative gameplay for the time. The battle system was revolutionary for the time, featuring active time-based battles that kept players from getting bored while they sat there and waited their turn, and the enemies were on screen before battle so that you had no random battles to surprise you. It featured combo attacks that were epically detailed and as much a visual treat as they were alarmingly effective. As far as earlier console RPGs go, it's one of the first to offer multiple, differentiated, quality endings, which were determined by the player's choices throughout the game, giving players proper consequences for action and inaction alike. It's no wonder then that so many RPGs since Chrono Trigger's release have tried to capture that same sense of wonder and nostalgia. Success seeks success, right? After all, imitation is the sincerest form of flattery. From this, we can see how games like Final Fantasy VII and Xenogears took cues from Chrono Trigger's complex storylines and those characters that they developed so well, while games like Persona and Tales of Symphonia experimented with innovative battle systems and dialogue choices. Even retro-inspired modern RPGs like Octopath Traveler and Bravely Default, which are absolutely freaking amazing, pay homage to Chrono Trigger's iconic battle system, art, story arcs, and even some time-traveling mechanics. Of course, not every RPG that has come out since Chrono Trigger's release has been successful in capturing that same magic. Some games have tried too hard to emulate Chrono Trigger's mechanics without adding anything new or innovative, while others have focused too much on nostalgia at the expense of originality. But even in these cases, it's clear that Chrono Trigger's influence on the RPG genre is still felt to this day, and it's not always a great thing. The dragon that is this timeless game is as elusive as it is dangerous to chase. Some lose their way in the hunt and never get that fulfillment, and others shoot for the stars and fall flat as a poor replica, a disenchanted mess that serves no purpose other than a broken dream and another empty high. Iteration after iteration of Chrono Trigger fails to bring the price of the original Super Nintendo cartridge down from its expensive and daunting tower, and seemingly only brings the price of each manifestation up and up from its original retail point. Digital releases of Chrono Trigger have alleviated this and mitigated the entry point for many new players to some extent, but those seeking a tangible memento will likely always have to delve into the coffers, and those who have been graced with the experience of this game will rarely hesitate to contribute a portion of their prosperity to get it. It's difficult to say whether any RPG will ever be able to truly capture the sense of nostalgia and wonder that Chrono Trigger evokes, but one thing is for sure: the game's legacy will continue to inspire game developers for years to come, and many will continue to lie in its wake as it interjects itself relentlessly into the mind and conversation of every RPG gamer who has ever had the blessing of experiencing this majesty. The conclusion that we're all too happy to draw is that we're complacent, or a step further, we're even elated to continue chasing that dragon in hopes that one day another experience will give us the same satisfaction that this seemingly perfect realization of form has ingrained in the annals of video game history, irrevocably tainting or blessing the continued flow of time and influence from its inception to its eventual cessation. Chrono Trigger is just a special game. It is wonderful, and you didn't have to watch this video to understand this. I bet you already knew this. I bet you came here because you're a fan of RPGs and you like to talk about RPGs and hear about RPGs. That's who I am too. I feel that it's important to continue to talk about Chrono Trigger and to talk about the influence, the anxiety of influence that big RPGs and big games have over our lives and over our hobby. After all, video game discourse is important, and we should continue.